What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video on my channel. And today we've got two very special guests to do the most famous preview you'll see all week. It is Port Adelaide versus Melbourne. So I thought I'd get two of Melbourne's finest supporters to jump on board and just talk about this week's game. I've got the one and only, the man himself, Backyard Charizard with me.
I went first. Wow, that's exciting. I thought I was going to bring up the rear then, but that's good.
No, I've got to get the old man in first, the first thing first. And I'd like to say a channel debut, the man himself, properly. Obviously, we've done other stuff before, but nice to have you on, mate. So I hope you're doing well.
Oh, it's great to be here. I'm up and about for this one. This is going to be a very big game. We'll dissect it shortly, but I think you're in trouble.
Already. We'll get to that. But everyone's favourite person is also here. Everyone's favourite Melbourne team supporter, Caden, MacDonald. Thank you so much for joining us as well.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I'm not sure you should be too worried about the weekend, but I'm glad the Charizard's backing us in.
Oh, if there's one man that has hope, it's Chari, so it's all good. So, boys, it's a big game. We're obviously taking on each other Thursday night at the Gabba, which we would have thought never would happen in the history of our game, to be taking on each other there. But it's going to be interesting. Thursday night footy. What are your first thoughts about going into this one, Chari?
Well, I sort of opened up with my thoughts on this one. I think you're in a spot of bother. Like you said, though, it is weird that we're playing at the Gabba. I did get a little bit excited on one of my streams. I think it was when they released the fixture. The kids all jumped in there and they're like, "Oh, Melbourne's playing Port and then they're playing Adelaide." And I got so excited. They all told me they were both at Adelaide Oval, and I did get a little bit moist. Living in Adelaide, I thought, wow, my dreams have come true. I get to see the Dees 2 weeks in a row. But unfortunately, the other game we won't worry about, the one against that other team that also play here in South Australia. Well, they don't play. They sort of hang around and do nothing at the moment. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited about this one. Like I said, you're in trouble.
Oh, right. Yeah, you've said that 4 times already, so...
Yeah, I've got reasoning. There's methods behind my madness. I think in the ruck, you're very much going to struggle.
Oh, already? God's sake. Caden, mate, what are you feeling about this one off the bat?
Yeah, look, a lot of people would say, it's quite weird, the Dees home game up at the Gabba against Port, but I've seen us have home games everywhere. I think I actually have seen us play home games at the Gabba throughout our time. So, it is a little bit strange, but, yeah, that story sort of got me shattered. It would have been, like, even me as a Dees fan, I would have preferred us to be at Adelaide for some reason. I reckon we play pretty well at Adelaide Oval. We could not win to save our life at Amy Stadium. I almost went to say Park, but yeah, at Amy Stadium could not win. But yeah, I would have preferred both games at Adelaide Oval. But I don't know. It's a weird one where I reckon we're. Oh, hang on.
How's that guy?
Oh, he's got a real job.
Imagine being a dad. Far out.
Just Simon Goodwin telling me just to pump the brakes.
Oh, yeah.
Keep a lid on it.
Oh, yeah. Keep a lid on it.
Yeah, I feel like we're almost the sleeping giants a little bit of the comp because we're putting together some good footy. And I think the weekend showed we had a pretty ordinary game in terms of finishing off our good work, and we couldn't capitalise on our chances, but we still took it up to Brisbane. So I reckon it'll be a ripper, and I'm keen.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm a bit nervous about this one. Let me tell you. After losing to St Kilda at home, I'm not particularly a fan of the Gabba at the moment, especially with results that we've had so far, even though Robbie Great himself got us across the line against Carlton. But, Jesus, I'll tell you what, Chari, you're on about something. I am a bit nervous, but why? Tell me why I should be nervous.
I just think I'm going to purely base this off yesterday's game against Brisbane. Obviously not yesterday when this video is released, but the game against Brisbane, I think Max Gawn just absolutely dominated in the ruck. Melbourne's midfield, I mean, at the moment, everything's being said about Christian Petrarca. The kid is in amazing form. Throwing Clayton Oliver, who I don't think has quite hit his straps yet, but is thereabouts. Jack Viney's having a fantastic year. Easy top 3 in the BNF thus far. I think you're going to struggle in the middle. I do have one concern with Port. I mean, you've got some fantastic young players. I mean, Connor Rosie, geez, not much can be said about that kid that hasn't been said already. He is phenomenal. But Xavier Dersma, Zachy Butters, I mean, you could talk about all of them. Mitch Georgiadis?
Yep.
Good little player. I did enjoy watching him run around on the weekend. I just think Laddams is going to struggle. And I think from there it'll just snowball. And you've got a very good back line, though. So Sam Wiedemann's in great form. I think hitting the packs harder than I've ever seen him hit them before. And I do sit here very, very confident, but we're not going to smash you. I think it's going to be less than 3 goals.
Right, a heart stopper again. That's exactly what I need. All right, well that's good. That's given me even more confidence about this week. So that's. Nice.
I would say is Dixon playing?
Yeah, Charlie's in.
Well, that's a big concern, I reckon, because we never have anyone that can compete with a 200+ centimetre forward. Like, any forward with a little bit of height, we seem to struggle. But it'll be a good test because I don't know. I think Oscar MacDonald's helping out May and Lever down the back. So it'll be a good test. But I think that midfield battle is going to be really, really interesting because I think our midfield, like a lot could be said about the method and the kicking, but when it's like push comes to shove in the middle, our boys seem to get it done. But I think Brisbane did a really good job of just going to town on us. I think, them out of the clearances, it was almost surprising. Like most games, we can sort of get it out, get it forward, comes out of our backline, easy rebound goal against us. But, we were sort of struggling to get out of the middle against the Lions. So, I don't know, it will be interesting. But Thursday night footy, I'm keen.
I know. I don't like Thursday nights. We don't have a good record, and especially at the Gabba because, I hate the Gabba. I think it's one of the worst stadiums in the country.
I hate football in Queensland. I hate when it's just slippery and like it's like a dry night, but it's still like just wet and slippery. It's not good to watch.
Well, I did my research before this, surprisingly, because I never do research. And it said 24 degrees and perfectly sunny, which usually means the ball's going to be a bar of soap.
Yep.
It
will be. It's just,
I hate it. And, I don't know how it gets to those conditions, but even in the day, it's slippery. It's like no football can be possibly played.
No.
Not good football, anyway.
But let's have a grand final up there.
Yeah. Can't wait. Grand final. Halves. That'd be great. Well, you basically answered my question about what worries you about Port, so that's good. So you've done that for me already.
Cool.
What will be the difference, boys? What's going to be the big difference on the day? I'll start with you, Caden. What's going to make the difference for Melbourne?
I would just say the difference, and it's week in, week out for the Dees, is whether we can take our chances or not.
Yeah.
We're going to get your 40 inside 50s. I don't even know if that's a good KPI, but we seem to get that like 50 inside 50 mark, but only seem to, get 10 scoring shots, if that. It's just whether we can finish off our good work. So on the weekend, we had absolute sodas, like genuine, as easy as you like, opportunities, and absolutely stuffed it. So
Hello, Harley Bennell. I hope you're watching.
What about Cozzy Pickett had Hannon in the goal square and he snapped one over his head.
He burnt him.
Yeah, I went nuts. James Harms had a set shot from 30. Ed Langdon had a set shot from 30. Sam Wiedemann, I love him and I'm glad he's in the team, but he missed 3 kicks that, me and the pair could kick in any goal recreation. No, don't clip that. I don't want Weed saying that. But yeah, he did. He missed some easy shots, and I hate walking away from a game going, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
Which is, it's better than going, we just had no chance. So it gives you some sort of hope for the next week. But, it just seems to be we're walking away every game going, if the ball bounced this way and if the goal was kicked, we could have won. And I hate that feeling. So I just hope if we put ourselves in the position to win, we can actually do it.
Yeah. No, I feel the same. We were the same on the weekend. We had about 4 set shots in front of goal, 30 out direct in front.
Well,
There was no wind at the Adelaide Oval, mate. And they're
you
missing it left, right, and centre.
you guys should have absolutely put the nail in the coffin against Carlton.
Oh,
Even like the last 2 minutes, you could have won by 5 goals.
that was a percentage booster in waiting, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Todd Marshall, bless his soul, couldn't kick it 10 metres out. So
He's out.
he's out this
Is
week.
Jack Watts in?
Ooh.
Tell you what, there's been some murmurs.
What's
The
in?
fans, there's some. Plenty of fans want Jack Watts back in the side.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
do.
a bit.
There was a scratch match on the weekend, and apparently he played not too badly. And with Marshall out, that
Yeah.
could make room for maybe Westhoff going back forward, which means Jack Watts might get his go. And what a return game too.
Exactly. Yeah. Well,
Against his old club.
I feel like we owe you one from last year because that was a belting. You guys won by 5 goals. You know, we didn't know how the Dees would go that year, but it was round one, and you guys came and just dominated us. And I felt like we almost got bullied in the end, like the way all your 18-year-olds were treating Gorney and the way you guys went in harder. And I don't know, I walked away from that game and I felt a bit bruised. So I feel like we owe you one, and I hope we come out and I don't know, have a dip.
No, that was a good game, though. I don't remember that, actually.
That was a long time ago. That was March. That was March last year.
Yeah,
That's just
that was
so
a
long
time
ago. So long between games.
That's why I hope Lysette gets up, because
I
we
don't.
can, if we can bully Gorn, I reckon we'll go a long way to, or at least trying to win. But I've got some key stats for you. I did say I didn't do research, but I did it.
Beautiful.
Possessions, Port Adelaide are number 2, Melbourne 17.
Ooh.
Clearances, Port Adelaide are number 3, Melbourne 17. And you were talking about inside 50s before. Port Adelaide number 1, Melbourne 11.
Ooh.
So I don't know how you take that, but obviously
I think I was sort of saying that we win all the clearances and we get the inside 50. So I don't know where I'm getting my stats from, but
I think you were right though. Take your chances, and it will go a long way. Like last week, Port Adelaide had 12 inside 50s. I think it was the first half of the third quarter, and we kicked 1 goal. St Kilda ended up winning the quarter 2-1. So,
geez, you've dented my confidence here, man. I was up and about until you started reeling off that we're 17th in all the stats.
I'd love to see the stats over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah,
because I feel like we have not fired a shot until the Gold Coast game, and then the Gold Coast game looks like the brand that I know and love, and that Goody keeps saying that we're trying to get back, which was hard contested and like a genuine method going forward. Like the games we'd win and win comfortably in 2018, we would have like this slingshot play from the back line where your Mitch Hannons and your Jake Melkshams are marking it in the goal square with no one around them, just kicking it. Like it was just like we just had this play where we would get out the back and link up, and just get these easy Joe the Goose goals. And I hadn't seen that all last year. Like we could not get that going at all. But in the Gold Coast game, we started to see it a little bit. And then in the Hawthorn game, it was like as good as it got. Contested, the back line set up really well, and then we were getting this really great play where we're getting the easiest goals ever. I think my boy Sam Wiedemann got on to the end of a couple. So I feel like, we're down the bottom. I think, the stats probably say we're down the bottom, but I feel like the last 3 weeks there's been a little bit of a change where, I don't know, and it feels like, I don't know, maybe I'm talking out my ass, but it feels like it's clicked a little bit where I feel like it's back. So
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah. I agree. I know you got up and about with that Gold Coast win. I think you seemed in the chat back and forward. You seemed a little bit more excited that we were back than I was at the time. But then the Hawthorn win, I'm just like, wow, we are back. That was almost a 4-quarter version of the first quarter we played against Carlton earlier in the year, where we just demolished them. It was so good to watch. But back to the difference, I'm actually a little bit scared. I've changed my mind a little bit here. I mean, you've thrown me, man, dropping these 17th stats. I hope you did find one stat where we actually rank higher than Port, but we'll worry about that later.
There was
probably losses. Is it losses?
Yeah,
Like
inefficiencies
inside 50.
But there's one player for Port this year that, man, I've enjoyed his footy for a couple of years, but I reckon he's gone another level again, is Darcy Byrne-Jones.
Yeah.
His season so far has been fantastic. And I worry a little bit that their run out of the back line could get hold of us, and we sort of crumble. Teams, when they do put the pressure on and dispose the ball well, we really need to be up and about to combat it. Otherwise, we look lost. And if we look lost, if we have a period of play for 15, 20 minutes against Port, they're the sort of team that will kick 5, 6 goals on you, and then it's just game over. So we will still win by 3 goals, but there's a small chance that the stats don't lie.
We'll win by 3, but we were up by 9.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah, that's right.
Late in the last quarter.
But I don't think... Do you reckon Neville Jetta will get up?
Yeah.
I reckon he'll miss. You reckon he'll get up?
Oh, well, I can't believe he got up off the ground.
Yeah.
So everyone was saying that he drove his head, which he did, but McStay could have done the one where Neville Jetta does drive his head a little bit, and it's something that irks me. But McStay could have done that one that a lot of players do when they run in with the stomach, and it's sort of like they've got the arms out with the stomach, and he puts his head into the stomach, and it's like still high, but it's not too bad. But McStay genuinely lined him up a bit.
Straight in and lined him
up.
up.
And I was like, that action is how people get, paraplegic. So it was a little bit scary, but I think he gets up. I don't know who else we really have down back. Like, I don't know what Marty Hoare's doing.
I think he's cooked for the season.
Oh yeah, I think he is too. Jay Lockhart, I'm a bit hit and miss with. He can really frustrate me, but then his endeavour and ticker sort of gets me up and about. But I think we need Jetta. Jetta just needs to be in there.
Yeah. And Harley Bennell couldn't have a shitter kicking game again than what he did have. So I think we're all right there.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Harley to kick 5 then. That'll be good. Welcome back, Harley Bennell. Here's 5 goals. What a better team to do it too would be Port Adelaide. But if Jetta does get up, does he take Robbie Gray?
I think he has to.
Yeah.
Yep. I think Gray will slaughter him though, I reckon. Jetta's getting old. Now I'm nervous.
Oh, it's Robbie.
No, but Robbie looks like he's getting younger every game.
Oh, yeah. Well, he goes to the haircut every second week. So. What can I say?
Yeah. Jetta's got to go to. Yeah, has to. I'm trying to think who else. Maybe an Oscar. Oh no.
No, maybe the man you were talking about, probably a Lockhart, but that would be a destruction.
Well, since we have no Marshall and you've got Lever, May, MacDonald, does maybe Lever go to Robbie? Well, actually, hang on. Stephen May played when he was at the Gold Coast. Used to play on Robbie Gray. And
did he really?
Yeah, when they
he's got the pace. He
used to play on Robbie.
Yeah.
So could be an option.
Stephen May is really smart. He's one of those blokes that'll do like a lot of subtle things when the ball's coming in, like sort of work people under it without them even know that they're getting worked under it. So he's probably got the smarts to go with Robbie Gray. I think Jetta has to be the man. Like I've seen him stop all sorts of forwards. Like, yeah, I've seen him do jobs on like Eddie Betts, when Gary Ablett, or even like Dangerfield rests forward, and it's like, oh no, who's going to play on him? Jetta's like that man that you feel a little bit more comfortable with. So, but he hasn't been in the best of form. I'm not sure whether it's like fitness or I'm not sure, but that'll be some nervous moments. He let Rankin kick 3 on him on debut, which I'm not sure is letting, like, I don't know if it was Jetta letting him do it or Rankin's just a freak, but that was sort of frustrating, especially that one where, I think it was his third, where Gawn just hit it down and Jetta was nowhere near him. That was a little bit frustrating, but yeah, it could be, Robbie Gray. You forget about him, I reckon, a little bit. Like, yeah.
Until right at the end of the game when he's kicking the winner.
Wouldn't touch it for a quarter, but then next minute pops up, kicks 3, and then, well, there he is. Just recognise. All right, well, boys, I've got one question before we can go into some predictions. And I reckon this is going to be the hardest question you'll have to answer.
I've been struggling to answer all these questions. I can't wrap up half the sentences.
Is this Melbourne's season if you lose?
Ooh.
I've got a tricky answer.
I don't.
I reckon our season's already done.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I reckon I just feel, and I don't know whether it's the bye that we had or whatever, but being a game down, and I just feel like we're behind the pack, even though we're 1 or 2 wins away from being back in it. But I just feel like we're just like lagging behind. And after the start we had, I don't know, it's good to see that we're having encouraging signs, but I'm not sitting here going, geez, we have to beat Port because then mathematically we're only, I'm just going, I think maybe Chari hit me up and said this season's a bit of a pre-season. And I'm like,
yep.
I hate doing that. I hate doing that every year going, next year. But it's just got that feeling that we're building something. The foundation feels a little bit stronger than in 2018. So instead of just popping up for 1 year and popping down, we're slowly building it. But it's starting to look good. So short answer, I think our season's cooked, but I guess yes. If we lose, we're done. But I already think we are done.
Yeah, I think too many other results are going against us as well. I mean, the teams in the middle of the pack seem to just keep winning every now and then. So, I mean, we're sitting down in, currently 13th? I think, yes, we got the game in hand against the Bombers, but I reckon we may have missed an opportunity against Brisbane. I think our season would have still been alive and firing if we had have got over the line against Brisbane on the weekend, but sort of similar to yourself, I think we just, depending on what happens this week, I'd probably agree with you, Anthony. I reckon it's cooked if Melbourne lose, the off chance that Melbourne lose, then I think it might be done.
But yeah, like you drop a game against Geelong by a kick when they were playing terrible, and we that was one of the worst games we played, and we still lose to Geelong, who I think are a pretty good side by a kick. We play our heart out against the Lions, but just don't take our chances. And
we play Richmond into form.
Yeah, how's that? Richmond could not beat bloody Torquay reserves, and So I don't know. It's got one of those years where it could be a bit of a. I said we'd finish 6th at the start of the year. I just had a feeling that we'd bob back into the top 8. We had the easy draw, the great pre-season, which now means nothing because everyone had a great pre-season and everyone's got the same draw. So I felt like we had the team to get to a top 8, but now for some reason, I don't know. I feel like we're going to hopefully play some good footy. I want this team, to play together every week and build into something nice. And then, I don't know, I just get the feeling it could be one of those, maybe a 10th sort of season.
Another one.
So many teams are on the same level, though, so you never know.
True. But we just got to start winning then.
Yeah. All right, you can start next week against the Crows. They'll be perfectly fine.
It's going to be exciting, though, beating both South Australian teams for someone who lives in Adelaide. It's going to be great, yeah.
I'm still filthy. Stop bringing it up.
Well, what happens if the Power lose? Is that, are you guys, was it just a bit of a good start to the season? Are you guys not pretenders, but not that clear number one team that everyone thought? Or, how do you feel if you guys drop this one?
I was having this discussion with a mate just before, actually, and I was saying that even on the weekend, I do think we're actually cooked ourselves completely.
It's got that sort of feel. Like whenever the Bombers are in the top 4 in the first 4 games of the year and everyone's saying they're going to play finals, you always look at the Bombers and go, this team isn't making finals, and they always drop off. And the Power, maybe from memory, they've sort of done this before where they start scintillating and they're not a terrible side, but they're not this number one team that people think. But I actually got sucked in. I thought you look like a top 4 team to me. I
don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant. I was always hesitant. Like,
Yeah.
we're sitting top, game ahead. We've just beaten GWS, which I thought was the best win in history. Then we beat Carlton, who are on the rise, and I was thinking, we're just getting all these challenges. We're playing away from home. We're on top of the table, winning all these games, and then to come home and lose to maybe St Kilda are better than I thought. Maybe I'm just thinking too negatively, but now that we go into this period of 4 games in 16 days for us, 33 games in 20 for the comp, it's just, if we come out of this like 1-3 or don't even get a game, I'm like, please. It's got that Port Adelaide feeling. Like, as he said, we start really well. Like 2018, we were 11-4, sitting comfortably in the top 4. Like, worrying the world. We just won 5 in a row. And then we lose to a lowly ranked Fremantle. We lose to the Crows who aren't making finals. And then we lose to bloody West Coast after the siren at home. And I'm like, that's season done. And then last year was the same thing. We get all that way and we lose to North Melbourne by 100 odd points. It's just, I don't know. I'm just being hesitant. But I guess we'll find out Thursday. So if we beat Melbourne,
you're in the top 3 teams. You're in the top 3 teams in the comp. In my eyes, easily. I mean, I'd sort of written off West Coast when they were up in the hub and playing really terrible footy. But I look at them now, and yes, they played an undermanned Collingwood. But wow, they were pretty scary. And if they get a massive run of games at home, like they look like they're going to,
I'm not sure they'll leave WA.
No, I don't think they will. But then Port should get the same opportunity, not go to WA. But Port have been away for how long now?
Yeah,
you need games at home. A good run at home. Well, although you did play St Kilda at home, and that didn't go too well for you.
I'd rather play at Metricon. Take us back to Metricon. We don't lose at Metricon.
But yeah, I still think Port are pretty good. I think you're in there with a shot. You may think differently though after Melbourne tear you a new one. But.
Yeah, I think this is the game that probably defines Port a little bit, because the Dees, even though we haven't done it for years, I feel like have the capabilities to knock off the top 8 this year. And I think if someone in the top 8 or top 4 sort of come up against Melbourne and think they're going to be versing the Melbourne of last year, they'll get a shock. So it's one of those games where if you guys are fair income top 4, then you got to get this one done. So
the only thing that does give me a little bit of hope is the fact you only got a 4-day break. So maybe going, obviously up in Queensland already, but maybe the 4-day break may hinder preparation a little bit. But then again, we've got all our injuries, so
I like this short breaks, because this is a team who has had zero continuity, and like last year it was sort of like Jack Viney in, Jake Lever would come in, and then May, Jones, whoever out. We just had this rotation of like 3 of our best 22 would keep going out after the 18 or 16 of the best 22 did 20% of the preseason or whatever it was. But there was just no rhythm. We just couldn't get going. And then I was like so excited for this year to just get block and block after games into this team. And, it went round 1 before we played. The season was called off. Round 2, I think we had a couple of players suspended for COVID versus the Blues. Going into the next round, game got delayed. And then I think like the next round we went to versus Sydney, got changed to Richmond, and then went to have a home game, but all of a sudden we're in Sydney. So I'm so excited for them to just play footy like week after week. And I like that it's shorter, because instead of sitting around in a hub, they play Sunday, and then all of a sudden, tomorrow's Tuesday, they're getting ready for another game. So I don't know. I like that we can sort of correct what happened on Sunday, on Thursday. So I think it's good.
I think it suits our team as well, because guys like Christian Petrarca, you don't want him sitting around for 6 or 7 days between games, because he's that edgy. He's like a caged lion, and he's ready to just come out and belt everyone. It's good. It's very, very good. Very good. Oh.
See, that's the thing. Like for us, having a 5-day break from St Kilda to Thursday. For some reason, I feel like when we have a shorter break, we're the opposite. And it was even when we had the fly in, fly out for the last 2 games beforehand. We just looked a bit sluggish. And there was just moments in games where we just couldn't carry it out. And then on the weekend, I feel like we were cooked. We looked so tired. We couldn't compete with St Kilda's kicking and how well they moved around the ground. So if you have an advantage, not that you have one already, but that's it. You've got the four-day break. So that's scary. Great. I don't think we should have done this.
No, you'll be right. Just on a side note, I hope Melbourne do win, because if I wake up on Friday morning, it's actually my birthday, and I will be salty. I will be so salty if I start my birthday after horrible loss to Port.
That's all right. You've had many birthdays, so it's fine.
I have. This is number 42 this year. Goodness me. What an old bastard.
Jeez. 42.
Yes.
You're combining Caden and I's age.
Well, you got a big day Thursday as well coming up, Dos, haven't you? Have you got something coming out on Thursday?
Oh, Thursday. Besides birthdays and bar mitzvahs, got a song, Pie and Chips, which will come out, and then I'll get to play that when I see the Dees win, so that'll be nice.
Come on, Dees, love it.
No, I'm not. I'm cutting that out. That's not. I'm not.
No promo. No promo.
All right, let's wrap this up, boys. Give me a tip and a reason why you'll win this week. I'll start with you, Chari.
My tip is don't watch the game if you barrack for Port. And Melbourne will win by 18 points. Max Gawn will have 53 hit-outs. And Port will win the clearances by 2.
Right. 18-point loss, dominated in the ruck, yet we still win the clearances.
Yep.
Right. Caden, what are you thinking, mate?
The Chari would have to be the most optimistic Melbourne supporter I've ever met, and the most optimistic Melbourne supporter in the whole country right now. But I like it. I don't mind it. I'm going to tip the Dees. I get the feeling this could be redemption for Sunday. That would have been a great scalp to knock off the Lions. Everyone froths them. So it would have been unreal to knock them off. And I feel like you would still get that similar respect to knock off the Power. So I reckon, they'd be filthy about Sunday's result, and they get to turn it around in a couple of days. So I reckon they're going to come out hungry and prepared, and Sammy Wiedemann's going to put on a clinic on Jack Watts. And I think the Dees will get over the line by 26. I feel like we might have that lead in the third, let you kick a couple to get close, and then just kick a couple Joe the Goose's just junk time cheapies just to get to 26.
Yeah, typical. Well,
what are the pair doing?
I'm tipping that we'll win.
Yeah.
We're going to bounce back. We're going to get rid of all the demons that I'm feeling at the moment.
Nice.
We'll beat by 21. It'll be one of those tight tussles throughout the night, but I think maybe a bit of class from Folk, maybe a bit of work from Tom Jonas down back, and a bit of sneaky goals from Connor Rosie might just get the job done at the Gabba, but who knows? We might be selling some pie and chips. Who knows?
It'll be, regardless of the result, it'll be a great game. I think it'll be a great game. And it's just good to see solid games that Melbourne are involved in with top teams. So and holding our own. So this is a fantastic test for our boys. And I think you guys are on the Bunsen burner in this one.
Yeah.
If you lose. Yep.
Yeah, the heat will be on.
Oh, I think
who have you got after?
Well, we've got the Dogs back at home on Monday night, and then we've got the Tigers at home next Saturday after.
You guys could win 3 of those, or you could lose 3 of those.
I know. That's the thing.
They'll be calling for Hinkley's head. Within 4 weeks, Hinkley will be... Sack Hinkley!
Because then we have Geelong back at the Gabba to finish off the little fixture squeeze.
That's... Well, we'll know. We'll know what Port are about after this, which is good.
Yeah, can't wait to be 7-4. 7-5.
Oh, bring your grippo for Thursday. It'll be wet. nice and chewy.
Bring your grippo and your Warren Treadray gloves. Well, boys, thank you so much for joining me for this preview. It's been about 25 minutes longer than the normal ones, which I love, because you've taken over Take it over which is what I've wanted.
How long do you have to get this down to? Or is this just live and exclusive?
Oh, this is going out. I'm not even going to bother touching it.
Oh, I love it. The work ethic.
Oh, yeah. We don't cut anything out here.
I like it. Nice and raw.
There's no editing software at all in this one. But, yeah. So, yes, thank you very much for joining me tonight. And make sure everyone that is watching gets on board. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to these two lovely gentlemen. And Caden's got an album coming out next Thursday, isn't it? August 6th?
Yeah, next Thursday. So, yeah,
Nice.
Get ready.
Exciting.
Right, well, thank you very much for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. My name's Anthony. And as always, calm the pair.
Stay pairing, yeah.
Calm the Dees.
Stay pairing.